In China, it especially, it seems we're finding more and more of the textiles and clothing that we buy and consume in America. They're all produced there, or in other areas of Asia. Not all, but a good portion. And so, can you speak a little bit about how globalization and industrialization has changed the local textile designs in the areas you've studied in China, in Hainan, and
you know, I really haven't been back, for example, to Hainan Dao. It's been almost 20 years. I wasn't in the industrial parts of China, so I can't really speak to that question.
What about other areas that you have been to since then, Peru or Japan? Have you noticed a sort of a homogenization of
well, Japan's been part of the international trade for quite a long time. Even in the 80s, the mid-80s, when I was in Japan, was when the whole Japanese deconstructionist look went global. But Japan hasn't been isolated for a very long time. First, they imported textiles from Indonesia and from India, and they took that lexicon of designs and made them their own, so that now there's a Japanese classification called Sarasa, which refers to patterns that originally came from Indonesia and India, but are now part of the Japanese lexicon, have been for centuries. So it's quite uneven, the in and out of Japanese design, but they're certainly borrowing liberally. And in the case of Japanese design, when Japanese reopened to the West in the 1870s, they very quickly got into the international trade shows in Europe and adopted the concept of applied design as something that they would like to emulate, started teaching it in schools. So at least since the 1870s, there's been a lot of back and forth, particularly with France, but also in England and with America too.